American dream is often perceived as the pinnacle of success and happiness, an ideal deeply ingrained in American society and cultural values. Yet, both The Great Gatsby and The Big Short unmask the alluring facade and reveal the dream as an illusion devoid of substance, only attainable by the privileged elite or those willing to compromise their morals. Despite the contextual differences and settings within both texts, they both share some similar thematic concerns. The American dream, as portrayed, is ultimately hollow, emphasizing the disillusionment and disparity between the realization of the dream's idealized notion of success and the harsh reality of social inequality and moral compromise. In F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, the notion of the American dream is heavily criticized, depicted as a hollow and ultimately unfulfilling illusion, where its attainment regularly derived through superficial and morally questionable means. The novel's protagonist, Jay Gatsby, epitomizes an individual who has realized the American dream, outwardly displaying his wealth and immense opulence through his lavish parties and grand manner. However, this vast wealth is derived from numerous illicit activities, such as the illegal sale of alcohol, bootlegging, undermining his achievement due to the morally questionable procedures from which his wealth derived. This lavish lifestyle is placed under scrutiny in the quote, a factual imitation of some Hotel de Ville in Normandy. This description of Gatsby's manner depicts the superficiality and artificial nature of his affluence. The term imitation suggests that Gatsby's manner is merely a facade, constructed and displayed to gain status and capture the eyes of those whom he desires. His mansion, symbolic of his wealth, is moulded for the public eye, reflecting his hollow pursuit of material wealth and exposing his lack of fulfillment at the end of his distorted sense of his own personal American dream. The hollow nature of Gatsby's success is further highlighted in the depiction of his lavish parties. Men and girls came and went like moths among the whisperings and the champagne and the stars. The characterization of Gatsby's guests as nothing more than moths attracted to his affluence and immense wealth reveals the superficiality of their visits. These guests are drawn to his allure, yet their presence is rarely meaningful and often fleeting, providing no lasting value to Gatsby himself other than self-assurance regarding his wealth and status. The comparison to moths also symbolizes the American dream itself, representing the ultimately hollow and fleeting satisfaction that comes when the dream is achieved. The true emptiness of Gatsby's achievements is further echoed in the quote, Mr. Nobody from Nowhere, in which Tom Buchanan remarks about the rigid social structures still present after an individual, in this case Gatsby, has seemingly completed the American dream. By referring to Gatsby as a nobody amongst the social elite, even while considering his immense wealth, the dream's promise of egalitarian treatment is revealed to be deceitful and only able to be truly achieved by the privileged elite. The illusory nature of the American dream is further explored in Adam McKay's film The Big Short, which details the 2008 American financial crisis. The film heavily criticizes the American dream, suggesting its attainment is only possible through morally questionable means and widespread systemic corruption. This is revealed through the film's exploration of the false sense of security and stability the average American has regarding their monetary assets. The film's closing scene encapsulates this film. As the fallout from the financial crisis becomes apparent, Mike Bourne's concluding monologue reveals that despite the suffering of ordinary Americans who are desperately striving to achieve their personal American dream, the very parties responsible face negligible repercussions, instead continuing to prosper, further reinforcing the notion that the American dream is an unattainable illusion where the rich remain wealthy and the poor are left struggling. The use of close-up shots on Bourne's face convey his inner struggle as he comes to terms with the moral implications of his actions and the realization that he has profited from the plight of those in much worse positions than himself, all of which unable to realize the American dream. This theme is further highlighted in the story of Charlie Geller and Jamie Shipley, two young investors seeking an ISDA agreement which would allow them to deal in long-term options. Their body language and dialogue before their meeting display their enthusiasm and optimism regarding the acquisition of their ISDA. However, they are met with the harsh reality of their situation. The informal setting of this supposedly serious meeting reveals how dismissive the banks are of the two, leaving them disillusioned by their false sense of optimism. By revealing the harsh reality of the dream's unattainability, the scene further displays the American dreams as an elusive ideal that remains out of reach for those not already within the top brackets of society. disregarding their previous insight and knowledge. Both The Great Gatsby and The Big Short offer a critique of the American dream, exposing it as a hollow pursuit and illusionary in nature. This is exemplified in the life of Jay Gatsby and the characters in The Big Short, illustrating the dream being only attainable for a privileged few and those who corrupt their morals. Ultimately, these works both present the American dream as an illusion, unachievable for the majority and hollow and empty for those who attain it.